Well, hi there, everybody. This is Linda from North Central Texas, and I had some mashed potatoes, and I've had people put in comments several times about how their mom used to make potato cakes. Well, the first time I ever ate a potato cake, I think it was at my Aunt Doris's house. It was when my Uncle Steve's mom was living with them because she was elderly and didn't need to be living by herself. And my Uncle Steve was from, I think, Russia, and, or, I forgot now. One of my uncles was from, I think, Czechoslovakia. I can't even say it. But one of them was from Russia, one of them was from somewhere outside of Germany. And I think my Uncle Steve was from Russia. I'm not 100% positive. But the first time I ever ate potato cakes, I was at their house right after his mom moved in with them. And she had fixed potato cakes and had some in a plate on top of the stove. And there were, in her country, as she grew up, it was an insult, and the Italians are basically the same way. It was an insult if you were offered food in a household like that if you did not accept it. Even if you didn't want it or you weren't hungry, it was still an insult if you didn't eat what they offered. And I first said no, I didn't want it, and my Uncle Steve said, go ahead and take it because she'll be insulted if you don't. Well, I didn't know that, and you know, I was kind of shy because I was just a young child. But I went ahead and I took one of those potato cakes and I started to eat it, and it was pretty good. So over the years, when I got older, I started making them myself. I don't remember my mom ever making potato cakes because usually if she made cream potatoes, it was all eaten at meal times. There was none left to do anything with. So if she made potato cakes, she'd have to go ahead and boil the potatoes specifically to fix the potato cakes with. But anyway, that's what we're going to do today, since I had it mentioned in comments about potato cakes. And I should have cut my bottom of my onion off bigger than that. But I cut before I remembered that I was trying to root onions. So that's one onion that's not going to be rooted, because I don't think the bottom is going to be big enough. It's too small. So much for that one. And something else I started doing, I'll show you. Because mentioning the onions we were rooting made me think of it. I was chopping up celery the other day, and I remembered I had this celery in there. And I don't know if it's going to root or not, but I've heard several people say that you can root celery basically the same way you do the onions. So I kind of lightly shave the bottom, just the very bottom off of that, not much of it. And I'm put it in a container just like the onion bottoms. And you can see the top is already starting to grow. We'll see if it puts out roots. If it puts out roots, I'm going to plant it in the yard or in the garden. Go ahead and put that back up there. But I've tried the green onions too. You know, if you cut like an inch or so off of the bottom of your onion, the green onions, that you can actually go ahead and root those too. And I should have left the bottom on until I got this thing cut. But I always have the camera in the wrong position to cut anything or do anything like that. And I'm not going to grate them. I'm just going to cut them in kind of small pieces, dice it up. Whew, that onion is strong. So the only thing I don't like about onions is when you got to cut them up like this. Unless you put them in a blender. Whew, they make you cry. Make you cry real quick. Not want it cut up too good. Oh, Lordy. That is strong onion there. No matter how I do it, I put my hand in front of the camera or block the camera with my hand. And that'll be enough onion. I'll put this little piece, in a container. Because I've got that little bit of red onion in there too, so I'll put some of that white onion in there. In fact, I may even put more than that. I don't know if I want quite all of that in there. Whew. Yeah, I think I'll put some of it in there and use it on my next dish. Because that is a strong onion. My eyes are tearing up. Oh my God. Strong onions. Go ahead and get that onion washed off of there. So it won't be in the air. Cover that up so I don't smell the onion. I tell you, some of them little white onions are powerful. They'll open your sinuses up. I mean, like right now. I mean, they intend to get it done. Or as they say, get her done. I'm putting a little bit of garlic salt. Because that's the only salt I'm going to put in there, is that garlic salt. It has sea salt in it. Put a little bit of Italian seasoning. Now, you don't have to put Italian seasoning. You don't have to put garlic. That's up to you. Oh, good gracious. Those onions are powerful, I tell you. And I put cheese in mine sometimes. A lot of times I don't. But I'm just kind of in the notion of having cheese with mine. And sometimes I put cheddar cheese. Sometimes I put a sharp cheddar cheese. Sometimes a mild cheddar cheese. Sometimes Parmesan cheese I'll put in there. But this time I'm putting mozzarella. So we'll see how that turns out. And I'm going to put one egg. I'm going to go get me an egg. I thought I had gotten one out, but I guess I didn't. One egg. And like I said, you know, you can spice them up pretty much how you want. You can put grate up carrots in there. If you'll take your onions and your carrots and just saute them in a pan and cook those first. Or just saute them till they get softened a little. You can mix that in with your potatoes and everything else. And I figured that mozzarella cheese might give it a good taste, so I thought I'd try the mozzarella this time. And I probably should have sauteed my onions, but you know what? I hardly ever do that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. It's not set in stone that you've got to do that, so it's up to you. Now I'm going to put in about a quarter cup to a half cup of flour. That should do it. Oh, man. Well, I thought I had some I'll put a little bit of paprika in there. Not much. Like I said, with the spices, you can go with whatever you want. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in there. If you don't like onions, don't put it in there. Put what you want in there. But that's what makes the dish for me, is the onions and the garlic and the few spices that are in there. Some people don't even put the onions in there. They just put other spices and stuff in them. But to me, it's not a potato cake unless you put some onions in there. But then all of my viewers know by now that there's not too many dishes that I don't put garlic and onion in. So I try always to grow garlic and onion in my garden. And I'm sporting a Dallas Cowboy shirt today. Sometimes people ask me, or before I started wearing the shirt, they asked me, they said, well, it's actually a sweatshirt, a modified sweatshirt. I like these because it doesn't have a high neck and it doesn't have really long sleeves. Because I get too hot in the ones with the long sleeves. Okay. Get some of the potato off my fingers. I don't know how I got potatoes on my fingers over here just mixing this up. Well, I might put it over here. I don't know which burner I want it on. Maybe that one. Go ahead and heat up my pan. Now, like I said, I don't go into extravagant dishes. I don't. Well, usually I don't. For the most part, my dishes are fairly simple. And I was wondering what I would be able to do outside today. The high is only 46 degrees. And it's been mist and rain. I had to go into the doctor for my yearly checkup this morning. And it was mist and rain on my windshield because, I could see the raindrops hitting the windshield. And I know sometimes they make regular little patties with these. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I might. But I have to wet my hands to do it. Or at least wet one of them to shape it around. And I try to make sure the onions are on the inside, because a lot of times if they're on the outside, they don't stay in the dish very well. They'll pop out of the little patty that you're making. I mean, I guess you can see that. And yeah, I had to wet my hands a little bit to do this. I'm trying to keep my hands over here so you can see me, but well, I always have my hands just the right way to where you can't really see what I'm doing. But I'm just basically making a patty. And again, don't try to cook them too fast. And turn the heat down just a little. I'll have these with my dinner tonight. Some of them. I'm definitely not going to eat all of them for my dinner. I'll be eating potato cakes for several meals with those, that many. I'm going to go ahead and try to make the rest of them while those are cooking. But there's a lot of variation of ways that you can fix these. I've at times put a little bit of shredded ham in my potato cakes. Not much, just a little, and it gave it a really good flavor. In fact, if I'd have thought about it this time, I probably would have done it. Yeah, but I shred up the the ham really fine. And then I just mix it right up in with my potato mixture. Yeah, I try to make sure my onions are all inside the potato cake when I go to put them in the pan. That way they don't brown and burn before the rest of the stuff is done. I mean, everybody probably has their own way of doing it, but like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can fix a potato cake. You can season them up any way you want them. Yeah, it's supposed to be cool tonight. A little cool, cool tomorrow, and then tomorrow night, and then it's supposed to warm back up to like 75 and 80, I think. They smell good. And you might be wondering, no, excuse me, give me something to drink. You might be wondering about the cheese. And as long as you cook it on a low heat, and you don't put an overabundance of cheese in there, it pretty well stays in that patty until you get them cooked. I mean, it's not going to melt out and run all over the pan. Oh, they're looking good already. I'll have at least maybe 12 potato patties out of that bowl of mixture. Yeah, like I said, some of the simplest, oldest, the old-fashioned dishes, the simplest ones with not all just millions of ingredients, are always, to me, the best. For one, I end up being allergic to a lot of the ingredients that they put in them sometimes. And sometimes you don't know that it's in there till you eat it. And then it's too late. Put just a little bit more of olive oil right down in the middle. Because like I said, even though I don't deep fry stuff anymore, I like the crunch that the fried gives the dish when you go to eat it. And you can grate your onions if you want. Sometimes I grate them. That's probably what I should have done this time, but I was being lazy. I just chopped them up. They're good either way. But you can have those potato cakes and some type of a meat, like maybe a pork chop to go with it, a vegetable, and you got a meal. You don't have to have a 10-course meal to eat and eat healthy. Trying to get that turned around a little bit. Looking good. Imagine those with just a little bit of pulled shredded ham in them. You could make a meal almost just with a potato cake if you had ham in it and had your carrots shredded up. You could shred just about any type of vegetable up and put in there. Oh, that wasn't quite as brown as I thought it was. They're looking good, y'all. Like I said, I'm old school. I found a fork. I can flip something in a frying pan like this better most of the time with a fork than I can with a spatula or anything like that. And you can kind of mash down on the top of them after a while to tell pretty much if they're close to being done. My rose bushes were looking good this morning. You know, I took out the rest of them that had any roots on them at all and put them in a little bit bigger pot so they can put out a lot more roots without me worrying about breaking the roots off when I go to transplant them in the yard or somewhere. I want the rest of them to have at least the root span that the first one had that I planted. They are looking good, y'all. Almost ready to come out of here. Because they're not going to get real firm. They're still going to be a little soft because it's potatoes. It's not bread. Now, if I was making these for my son, I would have definitely grated up those onions, or I would have put them in the blender, and I would have just pulverized them. They would have been nothing but liquid by the time they went in those potatoes, or my son would not have eaten them. Can't hardly get my potato out of there now. I left it there too long. See if I can do this. Just slide it off the plate right into there so I don't tear them up. There you go. That's exactly why a lot of times I don't make them beforehand. I leave them in the bowl just like those are, or that last little bit. Because sometimes if they stay in that plate too long, it just, I don't know, it starts getting kind of wet. kind of soggy and it sticks to the plate and then you can't handle it much. And my stove, my house is settled so it's not quite even. And when I got the new stove put in a few years ago, they never raised the back of the stove up to like level out the stove. So the back of my stove is just a tiny bit lower than the front. I'm not going to need that because I'm just going to make that last two and put it right in the pan, I think. Be able to handle it better. I'll have these cooking together. I got them too close. There. Yeah, there's so many ways, so many different recipes over the years with so many different groups of people, you know, so many different countries of recipes, so many different nationalities. So there's so many different ways that you can fix the same food. Look at that. I think those are looking darn good right there. Golden brown. And it'll give them just a little bit of a different flavor to have that mozzarella cheese in there. I'm not quite ready to turn. Yeah, I've got at least two more patties in there. And I think I've gained a couple of pounds since I've not been working. I mean, my work consists of housework and my yard work and my garden. Those are sticking together. There. Get them separated. Don't want them to stick together. Don't want them to burn either. Yeah, I almost made these too fat because they were wanting to kind of meet one another and start sticking together. That one almost wasn't quite ready to turn, but got it turned. But they're looking good, y'all. See what I can come up with my next cooking video. I don't know what else I want to fix. Sure looks gloomy outside. The stove looks like it wants to rain. Yeah, I got a clean bill of health when I went to the doctor this morning. All my tests come out normal, you know, cholesterol, blood, kidneys, liver, you name it. Everything's fine, which was great to hear. I mean, it's always great to hear that news. No one ever wants to hear that they got a health problem. Let that cook a little more. Yep, it is looking good. I get over anxious. It's like watching a pot of water to boil. You get anxious and, you know, I want to flip these and I know it's not time to flip them yet. I do want to make sure they're not sticking though, which I don't think they will because it is a non-stick pan, but still, you know how some things try to stick anyway. I mean, it'll come up, but and I think I'll put some of this stuff up while I'm Waiting on those to cook. A little bit more. Yeah, I want to show you. Look how gloomy it looks out here today. Sun's not shining. It's been sprinkling off and on. Big drops a couple of times, and then it stopped as fast as it started. It's barely misting out there right now. So, I mean, you could get some stuff done out here today, but be running the risk of it downpouring on you if you did. Because you never know. When it looks that cloudy, and, yeah, when it looks that cloudy, you're running the risk if you get out in the yard and try to do anything. Because you just may end up getting rained on and getting wet. Do you make potato cakes? Or maybe did your mom make them when you were growing up as a kid? And I wonder what she put in hers. Because like I said, there is so many different ways to make them, so many different things to put in them to give them a different flavor. Move that one over and let it cook a little more. Sounds like it's raining out there. No, I guess it's not. It's just misting like it's always been. Like it's been doing all day. see if I can get these last two little ones in there. Yeah, you can make them drier. They're easier to put together, but when you do that, you're basically getting too much flour in it, and it comes out more like a bread cake than a potato cake. And I want it to be a potato cake, not a bread cake. And you do have to wet your hands a little bit, so the potato will not stick to your hands, and you'll be able to make a patty. That I made those last ones a little smaller. I may have ended up with 13 of these things, but I ended up with 12. But they're a good size. Guess I could straighten up that picture, huh? Yeah, I never know from one day to the next what I'm going to have in my videos. It's like just all of a sudden I think of something and I get the camera and I start recording, and that's my video. Just spur of the moment stuff. One of these days I may be able to add music to some of my videos if I come across music that's not, that you can use without it being, telling you it's copyrighted. I found even the music that's on YouTube that they say you can use, and you won't get in trouble if you use that music. Well, I put it to one or two of my videos before, and it always come up with copyright on my video. So I just ended up having to delete it out and repost the video without music. I guess there's sites you can go to and maybe pay something to use their music. I don't know. But I don't make any money off of my videos, or I haven't so far. So I can't afford to pay a subscription to a music site to use music on my videos, so that'll have to wait. Yeah, I've seen some neat music that I could put to my videos, but then I said, well, Don't want to get in trouble with YouTube if I'm using copyrighted music, so I don't even worry about it anymore. I'm in a habit of turning my pan when I have just a little bit of oil in there to try to get it all around whatever it is I'm cooking, just to get that little bit of crispy on it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Take one of those that have cooled down a little bit and put it in a little plate. As you can see, it's not hard to make. It's not a long, drawn-out, complicated recipe, that's for sure. Just something simple and easy and pretty quick. Quick, simple, easy, inexpensive. That's the way I like to eat. Need to brown just a little bit more and I think they'll be done. Yeah, I had things I could do in the yard today, like move some of those wood chips to the garden area, but like I said, I'm afraid I'll get all out there, get ready to do that, and start doing it, and then it start pouring down rain, and then I'll just have to put it all up and come in the house. So I've just kind of been putting it off, and it's 3 o'clock now, so I don't know if I want to get out and then get started this late, especially if I'm afraid it might rain. It's nothing I hate worse than to get in the middle of something and then have to stop because if it's raining or something else. I'd like to go ahead and get started, get it done, and then stop and forget about it. But yeah, look at that. I mean, don't that look good? And I can't get it where I want it here. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Next time you have some leftover potatoes or you just want to try the recipe, boil you a few potatoes, mash them up, and make you some potato cakes. They're really good. I gotta taste it. Oh, yeah. And with that little bit of Italian seasoning in there, that is winning right there. And I forgot to thank the Lord for our blessings, and which I do. So I'll do that right now. Thank you, Lord, for this food that we've received today. Bless all of my YouTube members out there. Let them have a wonderful day today. Amen. Yeah. With that little bit of spice in there, just a little bit of Italian seasoning and paprika, and the little bit of garlic salt with the onion. This is a winning recipe right here. Cheap, easy, and quick. Yeah. So good. So good, y'all. Y'all try them. These are some good eating right here. Try you some potato cakes. You'll like it, I'm sure. If you like potatoes, you'll love these. Yep. That's a winning recipe right there. And with that, come on, you guys. Get your friends and family members to subscribe to my channel. I need about, let's see, what did I have last time I looked? 135 subscribers. I need 1,000. So you can see I need a lot more. And hopefully the first time I go live, I'll do a giveaway or something, you know, because I hit 1,000 subscribers. So anyway, y'all have a blessed day. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And I will see you on the next one. Bye now.